What's up, guys? Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. We got another unboxing. We're moving on with some more Victory at Sea here. Got some reinforcements that came in. So today we're going to take a look at the USS Idaho, so one of the New Mexico class of battleships. So we'll be right back after we get this open for you. All right, we're back. We got everything opened up. So you get the following in here. You get, of course, with their partnership with World of Warships, you get a little invite code for World of Warships Legends. You get the typical Working with Warlord Resins sheet, if you haven't seen that enough by now. You get the little sliders to keep track of the damage in different ways, but we'll set that aside. People have seen that enough. We get our little assembly guide. There's not much to assemble here. It's really the turrets and some of the superstructure, so nice and clean there. And then a little bit on a painting guide as well. So whether you go Army Painter and or Vallejo or some combination of that, there's a sample guide there. The bits for it are here, and again, just metal upgrades, or not upgrades, but just metal pieces here to fill in the remaining parts of the ship. So not bad there. And then, of course, why we're here, the ship itself. So kind of top down here, really nice and detailed level. All the AA guns being, or a lot of the AA guns at least, being molded on there. So the secondaries look good too. And obviously the wells for the, or the barbettes for the turrets. Got the aircraft launcher in the back there as well for the spotters. And again, rocking the Idaho here. And just as one of the 3 New Mexico class ships. So see how close we can get without losing detail here. Oops, let's get that back focused in. There we go. So again, overall, really good stuff there. And then the ship itself, so again, New Mexico class, clocking in at 395 base here. Again, fairly slow just because these were actually really World War I era ships that just got a lot of upgrades. 395 points, like we said, 6 up armor, 72 hull. Starting traits here, aircraft 4, armored deck, and torpedo belt of 2. And again, these things are rocking 4 triple 14-inch turrets, which is, again, pretty solid, although obviously going to be a little bit outgunned with some of the more later war, newer ships that were just packing a little bit bigger firepower. But nonetheless, it'll do solid work, especially if you're playing like early mid-war. 2 sets of light guns there. And again, with them being both restricted and weak, although the other set has at least dual purpose, and then some mediocre anti-air to start out with. And then, of course, we get the upgrade history, and again, depending on which ship you really want to field. Again, this specific model is the Idaho, but if you wanted to test out any of the others, of course, you could go that route. So we see originally commissioned in 1917, and again, fairly slow, at least for World War II era, but back then still fairly fast. But we get Idaho, Mississippi, and New Mexico as the ships of the class. We have Idaho and slightly, or some of the New Mexico upgrade paths. And again, we see we can get increased AA battery ranges and dice for some points there. We can add radar, and then switching up the AA battery again, and then adding local 2 for 60 points. For 1942, we go 43 with Idaho specifically here. Remove one of the light gun battery ranges, or batteries altogether, and and increasing the AA, and then also adding local. So that's 1943 there, only 15 points. That's pretty cool. Last real upgrade of the Idaho here, the 1945 one. So we add advanced radar, replace remaining light guns with light guns 10 5-inchers for those ranges there. Attack dice 8, weak, restricted, and dual purpose for 70 points. And then we have the Mississippi and New Mexico ones there. And again, slightly different upgrade paths with some of these here. New Mexico in 1945, they're also adding quite a bit to its anti-air battery attack of 9, basically for 25 points at the very end there. And then Mississippi, which hopefully maybe we'll get a separate model for at some point. But nonetheless, really neat ships. Again, just solid battleship overall for the U.S., at least for early mid-war purposes, by and large. Late war, probably going to be overshadowed by things like the, like the Iowas and so on. But it can definitely still hold its own. That being said, you got to be careful with this thing, of course. It's, you don't want to get overzealous or sticky in situations where it can't really handle its opponents, or leave it vulnerable to like just repeated air attacks and other things like that, despite the upgrades. So you can't necessarily afford to go lone wolf with it, but this thing should be very good at deleting cruisers of most types. And then still tackling certain battleships, or at least brawling a little bit. But you wouldn't want to leave this hanging out to dry against the Yamato or something similar with more firepower, or just hordes of destroyers or other things that it can't really tackle enough or fast enough. So, but nonetheless, a nice ship for the U.S., and hopefully we will see many more as the game grows and expands. And definitely looking forward to getting some playtest time with this and seeing how it slots in with the Americans, since that's one of the fleets that we are building and collecting. We got Kriegsmarine and then Japanese as well. At some point we'll probably add the Brits, but I think 3 fleets is enough for now for our purposes. So we'll definitely get this assembled here very shortly for you guys, painted up, and then hopefully featuring in some battle reports for you. So hope you guys enjoyed our little unboxing here and a little review of the Idaho. If you could leave us a like, a subscribe, maybe a comment. Have you already fielded it? What has your success or stories been with the New Mexico class thus far? How do you feel it fits in with the U.S. fleet? And are you focusing on battleships or carriers? There's a lot of discussion right now on just like how good the carriers are, maybe a little bit overpowered even, but nonetheless, this one's about the battleship here, the Idaho class, or not the Idaho class, but the Idaho itself, New Mexico class as a whole. What have your experiences been? Let us know in the comments, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by. We'll see you in the next one.